This video is going to explain how to conduct our Monday morning synchronization meeting. And it's important to note that the Monday morning synchronization meeting is intentionally longer and different than the Tuesday through Friday morning synchronization meetings. It's important to follow these meetings as regimentedly as possible. Consistency allows for higher performance. The meeting goal in Monday mornings is approximately 20 minutes, depending on the time of year and the field manager's available time. We will also tack on what's called a More Learning Mondays at the end of that synchronization meeting for a total of a half hour. So ultimately the goal is to have the crews on the road within 45 minutes of starting the workday. If we have the Monday morning more learning Monday mornings, and if not, then we'd like to see the crews in their vehicles driving to the job site by within 30 minutes of starting the workday. Follow this book for the Monday morning SIG meetings, the Chief Operating Officer Leader book. There are multiple documents in here, but when you open the page, the first page will look at what the typical Monday looks like for the Chief Operating Officer, and then the second page takes you into the Monday morning synchronization meeting. You should have this book in your hand every single Monday, no matter how good you get at the meeting, because it does help you keep on track. So to start the meeting, we start sharply at 6 a.m., whether or not all the employees are here or not. Try not to start earlier, because then we try to be fair with our time, right? Some guys like to show up early. Some guys like to show up a little bit closer to on time. If guys want to show up early and hang out and talk, don't take their time from them by starting early. Okay, 6 a.m. we'll open with a prayer. Start with the Our Father. This is very important. Obviously, the number one priority in any company is to be profitable, but it shouldn't be your be and end all. And for us, we start each week with the Our Father to remember why we are here, to recognize that companies exist to serve people, not the other way around. After the Our Father is complete, we go into good things. So for example, last week we completed 2 projects. One of them was a difficult cutting project, and the employees did a great job of filling out their hourly time cards properly, and also of keeping the customer informed of what was happening, why it was happening, and receiving approval for that change order request to cut the pipes prior to commencing the work. It's important to recognize what people have done well for 2 reasons. One, of course, so that they are proud of what they've done because they should be proud, but also as the manager, it helps give you an opportunity to highlight what you would like to see more of. The next part, we go into identifying shortages, and remember, I'm literally just following the checklist here. So shortages as a manager is an opportunity to highlight what needs to change, and a chance for everyone to learn from things you may have identified. So for example, last week we recognized we had to do redo a couple videos in the field because the manager found that they were too bumpy. So the lessons learned are that we want to avoid having carbides on all 4 wheelbases on our cameras. Whenever possible, run rubbers on your fronts, especially in clay pipe. Another lesson learned is ensure that we are plugging in our flashlights at the end of every day. If we don't, we might send you out with a dead flashlight. So at the end of every single day, you should be plugging in your iPads, your sniffers, and your flashlights, so that the following day you are heading to the job site with fully charged equipment. Next, we'll move into weather. Because we work outside, weather does indeed have a say in our work throughout the week. It's important when you do anything you do brief from weather, you should explain why you are sharing that weather observation. So for example, don't just say it's going to be rainy, right? You're going to explain how that will affect your weather pattern. So for this week, we have 25% chance of rain on Monday all the way through Thursday. Our lows are ranging from 63 to a high of 84. So neither the rain nor the heat should be a major factor for us this week. However, during the evenings, it is expected to rain. So when you head out to the job sites during the day, if you do have to go off-road, make sure you're walking at first to ensure you're not going to get your vehicle stuck. However, Friday, as of right now, we have 88% chance of rain, high of 77, and there is currently a weather warning for hail and high winds. So we will keep an eye on Friday's weather, and sometime Thursday we will make a call whether we are going to either have a maintenance day or, depending on how many hours people have worked, just call Friday and not come in for work. So again, make sure when you share your weather, you share how it is affecting their operations for the day and for that week. Next, we'll move into equipment status. We go by each vehicle on here. So the goal here is to give the operators a chance to share what's not working on their equipment. Once they share it with us, it's our responsibility to write it on the board. If an operator shares something and it doesn't get written on the board, the operator needs to assume that we're not aware of it. So it's the operator's job to make sure they continue to share what's wrong with their equipment until it gets written on the board. Once it gets written on the board, it's now the operations officer responsibility to solve that problem. That doesn't mean that the operations officer has to solve the problem themselves, but they do need to coordinate it, whether that means delegating it or contacting an external mechanic and coordinating to have that vehicle dropped off. But once it's on the board, it now becomes the administration's problem set. It's important that we brief this by vehicle type to make sure nothing gets missed out, give the guys a chance to jog their memory. And additionally, we want to erase and share with the employees once something is fixed so that they begin to understand that they do have the power and the ability to influence when equipment is broken. So we'll just do a couple of vehicles as an example. TV1, who drove TV1 this week? The operator would raise their hand and I would just say, do we have any additions as of right, or correction, TV2. As of right now, I'm aware that the oil plug is leaking. And also there is a leak that needs to be siliconed in the roof. Silicone's on the shelf, ready for the operator to go ahead and fix that portion. The oil plug, it's on the board. I am going to visit with the techs at AutoZone and try to find a replacement plug. If that doesn't work, then we'll have to take that vehicle off the line and get the oil pan changed. Is there anything else that should be updated? At this point, the operator should jog his memory. Whoever's been driving that vehicle, we want to talk to who's been driving that vehicle last, and they should share with us what's been going on. Move on to the next vehicle, TV3. Who's been driving TV3? Our employees will identify themselves as driving it, and I will ask them. As of right now, we're tracking that the battery terminal is loose. We need a new screw for it, and additionally, that there's a leak in the box. And I will let that employee know. Battery terminal has been corrected, and additionally, the silicone is on the shelf. The operator might say, yep, I already siliconed it, it's good to go. Great, then I will erase it, and I'll erase the battery terminal. So we'll move through each vehicle step by step. This is probably the longest portion of the Monday morning synchronization meeting. We do not follow it. It's just detailed Tuesday through Friday. But this is your opportunity as a manager to support your employees, the guys making the money, and make sure that they're heading out there with equipment that's functioning. Okay, after the equipment status is briefed, now we will move into the daily pattern. We'll brief by day, by platform, assigning a person to each platform. So today, Monday, we've got 2 work sites, Cottage Grove and Brooklyn Park. The cleaning crew is going to head out in the van in the blue vac. Blue vac is already on site, and they're going to start with cutting on the job site. TV2, which Sean will be driving the vehicle, the TV2 vehicle out. You're going to lead the cutting effort. As soon as the cutting effort is done, then the Cottage Grove cleaning crew is going to move on to their cleaning only portion of the project. TV2, you'll return to the shop, download the necessary footage so that we can get that portion of the project billed. TV4, you're going to head to Brooklyn Park for the TV only work. That would be, and you can see these little markers identify which employee is located at which job site, which is identified in the color coded by city. So you can see our Cottage Grove is orange and our Brooklyn Park is green. Color code them however you see fit. But on this side we have the platforms that the people are assigned to. So now we're moving to Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to bring all 3 televising trucks, you can see the associated names, to Vadnais Heights to complete a small portion of the project remaining there. The cleaning crew will go to Cottage Grove. Wednesday through Friday, we will have our 3 televising trucks, according to their names, in Brooklyn Park for a TV only job. Simultaneously, we will have our cleaning crew in Cottage Grove for the cleaning only project. So Wednesday through Friday, there will be no change to personnel, to job site allocation, with the exception of Friday. Remember, we have a potential weather event, so we may or may not have to adjust our Friday activity. So once our activities by day is covered per platform, per person, then we will turn then we will jump into future operations. So typically future operations is breezed over here on this calendar. This is a 2-month calendar, 1 month, 2 month out. And what we're looking to do here is just to give the crews an idea of how long we anticipate a particular project will go. It also gives the crews an opportunity to remind us of days that they have off. So if we're briefing future operations, today is the 8th right here, and an employee knows that they're going to be gone on the 14th, the following Monday, and they don't see their name on here as having off, they should raise their hand at that point and say, hey, just a reminder, everyone, I put in a PTO request form for the 14th of July. And this gives us a chance to adjust that. So really what we're looking at in future operations is to give the employees the knowledge that they need to coordinate with their families when they may be gone. For example, if we have an overnight job, it's definitely something we're going to brief during future operations. Brooklyn Park, they want to know how long they're going to be out there, because typically if you're working in Brooklyn Park, you might be getting back a little bit later, and they might need to coordinate on the family side in terms of dropping off kids for practice, things of that nature. It also gives you as a manager an opportunity to emphasize to guys when you expect that project to be done based on the footages that you expect them to be getting each day. After future operations, we turn the brief over to the field manager. This is the field manager's opportunity to correct anything that the chief operating officer maybe missaid, or remind the chief operating officer of an operational requirement that they haven't, he or she hasn't taken into account when making the planning for the week. It's just the field manager's opportunity to make any changes. This is not the time for the field manager to dive into detail on a project for today. That will be after the morning synchronization brief in a different video. But this is an opportunity for the field manager to make high-level changes. Once the field manager has had their say, then we turn the floor over to the office manager. This is the office manager's opportunity to request any information or to remind the employees of any administrative requirements. For example, the office manager might remind everyone, hey, open, insurance, is it open season? What do you call it? Open enrollment. Like open enrollment is on the horizon, employees. So if you are one of the employees that utilizes our insurance coverage, make sure you're starting to do your research so that you can make any changes you want in a timely manner. Office manager might say, hey, I've got 3 transactions that I discovered during my weekly my weekly analysis of our transactions that don't make sense, and I don't have receipts for them. So, so-and-so, will you please stay after us so we can track down this receipt and understand what this particular charge was. So after the office manager, then the floor gets turned over to the employees. And this is absolutely anything that they want to bring up. Here's a key part in managing this. If what the employee brings up is relevant to the whole crew, then go ahead and address it right then and there. If what the employee brings up seems to be more individual, we want to let that employee know, hey, great question. We are going to address that after we close out this meeting, but we don't want to hold up the whole company for this particular topic. But instances like this, employees might bring up and say, hey, I have a PTO request. Great, turn in your card. They might highlight, like I'm having this don't know how to do this having a software problem on the job site. That's something where we say, okay, let's take a look at it after the meeting. Let's get the rest of the crews on the road. We get the crews on the road. You go out there, help that employee with the software challenge. Now, it may be something you want to share. So in that case, we might share it during the next synchronization meeting. Okay, so at this point, that ends our Monday morning synchronization meeting. Couple pieces that you should be thinking about as the Chief Operating Officer at this point. You are now going to transition into your brief back criteria per crew. There's an entirely different video for that, but that's where, as the field manager will have an opportunity to get a little more granular on operations for that day or another day later in that week. But we don't want to hold up all the crews for that type of granularity. Additionally, at this point, the floor will get turned over to the field manager for the More Learning Mondays, and there will be an entirely different video for that for that rhythm also. The Monday morning synchronization meetings is probably your most powerful tool as the operations officer to really drive culture in the company. So you can change this how you see fit. Just make sure that if you change it, you adapt the video, you adapt the leader book, and you adapt the subsequent manual for the standard operating procedure. For example, how you might change it, I've often thought it would be a good idea to end each Monday morning synchronization meeting with a quote, right? Something to inspire people, or potentially like something as simple as a funny video on YouTube, just to inject some humor into the something that's fairly regular. Anyway, the point is, this is your Bible as a Chief Operating Officer. Your synchronization form is found in this book. Change it how you see fit. Just make sure that you document those changes so that we have that consistency every Monday morning. People thrive when they have consistency, these consistent frameworks. That's what allows them to adapt rapidly to ever-changing environments, which we for sure have in this company as soon as you leave the office. Thank you.